What's up my bro, Tundrum here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you 5 mistakes a lot of people make that can stop you from, well, winning your drafts. Now these 5 mistakes, if you're making any of them, it doesn't mean you're a bad player. It wasn't actually that long ago when many of these mistakes I would make on a consistent basis. These are 5 things that you may be doing that you don't really know about that are actually massive mistakes when you're drafting, and if you can fix them, it will really improve your skill and power as a drafter overall. This isn't necessarily in the gameplay aspect or even building your deck aspect. 90% of these are more or less just during the picking or actually kind of building your deck. But without further ado, let's get into the video by looking at draft mistake 1, which is marrying to your colours too early. What I mean by this is, here's an example. So you get, this is very unrealistic, but you get an Oko and an Uro, pick 1 and pick 2, insane Simic cards. But then from there onwards, the rest of the pack, you're not getting any good green and blue cards. You have to pick stuff like Axebane Beast or Scornful Egotist type power cards. When you are being passed tons of black cards, even though you have those 2 green-blue bombs, it would be a lot more efficient for you to have a deck full of pretty good black cards rather than 2 overpowered green-blue cards and then the rest really not so good cards. So in general, feel free, even if you've got some really good colours and cards in a certain colour, to change colours. It actually often pays off. Even if you're losing 3 or 4 really strong cards, in the long run it will normally pay off during the draft. Now we're on to draft mistake number 2, not picking enough removal. Now this is a huge mistake, tons of people make. I sometimes still do this as a present, but what I mean by this is, here's some examples. So you've got your pick. You could go for the Grotag Night Runner here, decent free drop, or Molten Blast. Now in my opinion, I'd pick Molten Blast almost every time. It doesn't look like that good of a card, but removing their best thing that removal spell can hit is it's so much more versatile than just having this set creature. It doesn't really have options on it. Or Heartless, I can't even remember the name of this card, or Black Lance Paragon. Here, you almost always go for the removal. It may be a really good 2-drop creature, but it's a much stronger as a removal spell, because you can also sometimes use removal to trade up as well, get higher CMC things than what your card's worth. So in almost all situations, unless you have a bomb, like a bomb, like even stronger than like Black Lance Paragon, like Uro or Oko type strength, like the ones we saw before, you almost always want to pick removal over anything else. Now we're on to draft mistake number 3, running more than 2 colours. I know, if you run more than 2 colours, you get all the powerful cards, and your deck's way more powerful. But the consistency is just garbage, and you're going to need to run colour fixing cards. And most of the colour fixing cards, as you can see here, these are some average colour fixing cards. Most colour fixing cards are just bad, and the only reason you're running them is because of colour fixing. So you're already getting a disadvantage on that front. There'll be so many games when you don't get your colours. It's just not worth the inconsistency for that extra colour. Maybe splash for something overpowered like Nicol Bolas the Ravager, just add in 2 or 3 lands of that other colour so you can hopefully hit them, or maybe 1 or 2 colour fixing cards. But don't just run 3 colours for OP cards like ultimatums and that type of thing. Draft mistake number 4, running or picking cards just because of a combo. So you might know, these are very off-the-edge examples, and I don't just mean infinite combos, I mean any combo. Like it could be 2 cards that function really well together that make it so your opponent's creatures can't block or something. But running or picking cards just because of a combo is a bad idea. Like you pick a Famished Paladin and you know Resplendent Mentors in the set. The chances of you getting both of them are very low, and then during a set game in the draft, and then during a set game, a chance of you getting both of them is even lower. And the times you do get them off, it's game winning, but when you don't, they're almost dead cards. They're so bad. And then like Grindstone, Painted Servant, you might have them both in your pool, but even though if you draw them both, they're an infinite combo, they're both really bad cards on their own, and realistically, maybe Grindstone Painted Servant, I might run that, because that's probably one of the most powerful infinite combos in the game. But realistically, you don't want to be running 2 cards just because they combo really well, or pick a card goes, oh, I could get this card, and then it would be really strong. That's just not what you should do. You should look at the card, think, would I be running this without the combo? If the answer's yes, sure, put it in. If the answer's no, I'd think twice about putting it in. And the final draft mistake a lot of people make, draft mistake number 5, is not paying attention to what people around you are drafting. Now, this is kind of similar to draft mistake number 1, but it is completely different. So let's say, yeah, you get an OCO OP bomb. I'm just using this because it's an example from before. You get an OP bomb pack 1. Then you just keep getting past black cards. So you go, no one next to me is drafting black then. I mean good black cards, not just black cards. No one next to me is drafting black. Okay, I'll start picking black. And then in the long run, you can get some really solid cards. What a friend of mine did is we just had a 4-player draft. It was a cube. But there were a bunch of really good Abzan cards in the cube. But what he'd do is they were 3-color cards. So he paid attention pack 1. And then that no one else was picking the multicolour Abzan cards. So what he'd do in the earlier picks, he would pick the monocolor cards that others could pick, and then pick 11, 12, then the cards like Siege Rhino and stuff would come back to him, and he would then pick them then. Just because he paid attention to what the people around him were drafting, he realised, no one is in these colours, I might as well use this to my advantage to get a better cards, because if he had first picked them, the other monocolor cards would have been picked away. So that's what I mean by this. It's also same as marrying your colours too early. You feel free to change colours depending on what people around you are drafting. See what you're being passed. See what, if it's a smaller table, like less than 8 players, you can sometimes even predict what they're going to want. So you can sometimes change your pick. This card would be really good in his deck knowing he's picking this colour, and I can't decide between these two, so I'll pick this one instead. So you just always want to, even though you might go, oh, I can't be bothered thinking what they're passing me, oh, did that go background? It will pay off in the end. If you really want to win your draft, just think, I'm going to pass this, is it going to come back to me? I keep getting past this colour, I should pick this. Just that type of thing. And yeah guys, that concludes the video. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to see more from me, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time.